Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to webinar 5G, the difference maker in education. I would like to take this great opportunity to welcome each of you into this live event. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed, here are the few pleasant reminders to all of you in this live starting now until the end of this occasion. Since this program will be conducted live, we do hope to get a good cooperation from each of you to not leave any inappropriate or sensitive comment in the comment section. So, to all 10 college students, please make sure to stay tuned with us from the beginning until the end of this live. And as usual, the QR code will be displayed at any time on your screen. So, do not forget to scan the QR code and follow the further instruction as a proof for your attendance in this live occasion. Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to everyone. Yang berusaha Mr. Kanishwaran Govindansamy, founder and CEO of Global 5G Evolution, staff and fellows of 10 College, and each of you that willingly spend your precious time in this event. Ladies and gentlemen, the objective of our webinar today is to give exposure to all students about the 5G technology. This webinar will be also the platform for the speaker to describe the relationship between 5G technology and the education field. So furthermore, it will provide a glimpse of the education progress after the implementation of 5G technology and how the existence of 5G technology will differ the before and after situation of the education field. So ladies and gentlemen, today's session will begin with sharing session by our speaker and followed by Q&A session. So if you have any question, views and idea, feel free to tell them in the comment section. We'll be read the question randomly. Ladies and gentlemen, today's webinar entitled 5G, the difference maker in education will be delivered by Mr. Kanishwaran Govindansamy. So before we proceed, I would like to share a little about our speaker's background. He is the founder and the CEO of Global 5G Evolution. He also completed his Bachelor of Electronics and Electrical Engineer at Nottingham Trent University. Then he completed his postgraduate program in a Master of Business Administration (MBA) at Victoria University. So our speaker today has a vast experience and knowledge in telecommunication field with more than 20 years. So with all due respect, I would like to invite our Mr. Kanishwaran Govindansamy to deliver his talk. Please welcome. Hello, Mr. Kanishwaran.
Hi, Rina. Screen, yeah.
Sorry for what. Is that your connection okay? Alright.
I'm trying to enlarge my slide to full
Alright.
screen.
Okay. Okay, right now we see your slide right now.
Are you able to see my slide in full screen?
Yeah. We are able to see your screen right now.
All right, perfect. A very good morning to the audience. A very good and a very good morning to Zara as well. Thank you so much, and thank you. Yes, thank you. And I would like to thank um, for the invitation by Professor Dr. Ayar Nuraini from University Putra Malaysia, the principal of College 10, for hosting this memorable event. And just to give a quick background of my biography, I have 23 years of active in telecommunications and ICT field, and I was involved very much into wireless network, 5G, big data, visual intelligence, IoT, and digital marketing. I was also involved in key account management, sales and marketing, commercial management for Telenor, and also in Axiata, E.co, ICT I was involved in ICT consulting as well, and I was there in the telecom industry back in 1997, where the day one, the 2G GSM was introduced. So from there, I was embraced with 2G, 3G, 4G, and services. And the industries that I was involved very much into the telco vendor, telco operator, enterprises, government agencies, GLCs, small medium enterprises, and Ministry of Defense. I was apprenticed to former telecom chairman Tan Sri Radzi, the late Tan Sri Radzi, and also the present chairman of Cybersecurity Malaysia, Tan Sri Muhammad Azumi. I do have a 12 years experience in Ericsson. I was involved in the transport solutions, RAN, core network, OSS, GSM, GPRS, H, 3G, LTE. And also, I was involved in the key account management as a senior manager for Ericsson for about 12 years. I do have extensive research and development back in 1997 till 2000, where at the time I was working for a local company, Asta, and we had a collaboration with University Technology Malaysia. And I was apprenticed to Professor Tari Abdul Rahman, who is the senior professor in UTM. And we were doing R&D 28 gigahertz microwave wireless. And today, 28 gigahertz is so much relevant because it is the millimeter wave frequency for the 5G technology, right? So, and that's how the technology advances, so on and so forth. And millimeter wave is so critical in terms of the applications, particularly into the autonomous driving applications. I was involved with some surveillance intelligence solutions where I worked together with aerospace and Navy industry, together with Royal Malaysian Air Force and Royal Malaysian Navy. I also have a fast moving consumer group digital marketing experience into the OCLA. And my qualifications are Masters in Business Administration, Victoria University, Melbourne, Australia, and for Bachelor of Electronics, Electrical Engineering of Nottingham, UK. And these are the list of talks that I have actually conducted in various areas, like in Malaysian Institute of Management, UTM, University of Wollongong, KDU, Global Drone Conference, Technological Association Malaysia, Masa University, NTU Singapore, Sunway University, and Monash University. I was a guest presenter to Astro Light FM radio station and also BFM 89.9 last year. And I'm also the founder of Exchanging Ideas Global 5G Evolution, the 5G International Virtual Meeting Conference that I initiated last year during the pandemic COVID-19. And I'm the content creator, and I own and manage the YouTube channel, which is the Global 5G Evolution. I'm also have a volunteer experience into the Growth Faculty Education Management, Brookvale, New South Wales, Australia. And I've worked with the organization in arrangement of conversation with President Barack Obama while he was in Singapore on 16th December, and evening with Michelle Obama in Singapore 14th December. And I'm also an advisor and mentor to the University of Wollongong KDU Engineering School as well. And I'm a mentor to the Graduate Students Association of Nanyang Technological University, NTU Singapore. As you know, NTU Singapore Engineering School is number 4th best in the world. I'm so grateful to NTU Singapore for hosting my virtual meeting platform. And I'm also a mentor to Asian Institute of Management in Makati City, Philippines. I do actually give professional and personal sharing of experience to the MBA students in AIMS, Philippines. And this is my YouTube channel. I'll give a few seconds here for the students to subscribe my channel, because this channel it's international channel. Most of the international event organizers charge from USD 150 to up to 1500 for valuable presentations on 5G ecosystems, AI, big data, cloud, the age, machine learning, deep learning, and all such of latest advanced. And I'm giving it for free, where I'm having a global community. I encourage vendors, Ericsson, Nokia, Huawei, artificial intelligence, cloud, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, all the big players, and also the medium players, to present on the latest advancements. So students, please take this opportunity to subscribe this channel, and this will help you to gain knowledge and idea on how the latest industry happenings, the developments in the world, particularly in US, Europe, Australia, where the 5G is far ahead in terms of the advances, and also the South Korea telecom, Japan also, right? If you compare to Southeast Asia, like, and also in Malaysia, we are far behind in terms of the technology development, at least minimum 5 years. Yeah. So please take advantage of the this YouTube channel. Please do scan with your QR, and you can able to access all the presentations that is been conducted internationally. So moving on to the next slide, I would like to express here that that 5G plays a very critical role in the industry, and just like electricity, the telecommunications has advanced to a very high level, where you just need to have your smartphones together with you, or your laptops, tablets, everywhere connected with internet, and it has to be in a high-speed internet, right? So though we have 4G currently, and we can able to access the internet, but 5G brings to to a next level, where we can able to download movies, or we can able to engage in a video conferences, streaming, without any interruptions, any difficulties of communication disruptions, and many more, right? So 5G was designed not just purely for the consumers, but it was also designed for the industries, for the enterprises, for the manufacturing, for the agriculture, for the event management, for entertainment, for broadcasting, and many more usages, vertical applications, where those industries can able to use their applications, whether it's data analytics applications or softwares, or high churn data of applications that able to improvise their productivity, the efficiency of the respective industries. And some of the industries do use IoTs, Internet of Things, where Internet of Things of connectivity in terms of sensors to measure the data, right? And it can be, for example, manufacturing data, behavior of the machines, or it can be the behavior of the petroleum seabed, where the petroleum diggers can able to get the information of the seabed behavior, and also the temperature of the sea, the conditions, the oil, and the consumption, so on and so forth. So 5G does a lot more of enhancement in terms of carrying the huge data traffic, right? You can able to see drones, where drones can able to do a lot of industry beneficials, right? And they need to be powered with 5G to do much more advances of fast streaming of video capturization, while the drones is moving on a certain speed of levels, and 4G can't able to support that for sure, because of the speed of the mobility of the drone is moving while it's capturing the images of certain locations, right? So that's why the 5G plays a lot of role. Now, if you see that in this particular slide, where if you see the total population in
Hello,
April
Mr. Kanishwaran.
2020 was 7.77 billion, where the unique
Hello,
mobile phone
Mr.
users was
Kanishwaran.
5.16 billion, and the internet users were about 4.57 billion, and the active social media users is about 3.81 billion. And this number of growth, if you compare to 2021, you can able to see
Hello, Mr. Kanishwaran.
that's a
Can you hear
huge
my
growth,
voice?
right? 7.85, 5.2. Yes, yes,
I'm sorry for interrupting your
yes,
share
I
right
can
now
hear.
because can you hear my voice right now?
Yes,
Actually, you stay in your first slide and
yes, I can hear you.
your screen is not in the full screen actually because you stay in the first slide as we see from our screen right now.
I think there's a delay in terms of the internet connectivity.
Yeah.
Or shall I stop sharing and reshare again?
Okay. Can you reshare again your screen
Okay, let me
because
stop share and then reshare again. Yeah,
okay, actually
I've
your
stopped sharing it.
screen. All right. Okay. Okay. Right now we okay we good. Okay, actually as we see from our screen your slide stay in the first one, the first slide, and it's not in the full screen.
The reason is because of the internet connectivity via the StreamYard. So
Yeah.
it gives a delay, and that's the reason. So now I've stopped sharing it, so it will be delayed. So you got to wait until it stops share, and then you have to re on it again. So it takes time. Yeah,
Okay. Right now, can you hear my voice?
I'm sorry for that because that
Mm.
is how it-
Okay. Can you hear my voice right now?
so I've stopped my sharing now. So let me reshare it again. Yeah,
All right.
this is why we don't have 5G technology
Um,
of the internet connectivity.
Maybe lagging on my screen also.
Yes.
Sorry. So, um, okay, I'm sorry for some inconvenience that we have right now. So we're going to fix out the problem that we face right now. So right now we're going to wait for our panel, which is Mr. Kanishwaran, to fix the inconvenient connectivity to this live event. So I hope you guys can stay tuned for this program. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Kanishwaran. Is that okay?
Yes, hi, Rina.
It's okay. It's very.
I'm share the screen. I'm able to see. Oh yeah, just 1 second. Yes.
So before that, we're going to inform to all our audience because for the Mr. Kanishwaran to appear his slide, it's going definitely no one able to see immediately. So I hope that our audience will be much patient to with our slides.
Are you able to see my?
Not yet. Right, we're going. We see
Are you able to
your
see
screen
the
right now.
slide now?
Yeah, but in the full screen, not in the full screen.
Perfect. Thank you, Rina.
All right.
Right. So yeah, it's okay. We will take some time to go into the because I've already enlarged to a full screen on my side. Screen.
I think there's a like again in between your connection right now, Mr. Kanishwaran.
Uh, so you're not able to see my slide in full screen.
Not yet. Actually, still in the formal slide, not in the full screen yet. Actually, so I think it's okay. Just proceed with the
Okay, so I'm
with
not
your share.
so
It's okay. We can proceed now.
right. So all right, thank you. So the active social media users is about 4.33 billion users. So what we can see compared to the previous year, it was about, if I'm not mistaken, 3.81 billion. So it's a huge hype increase in terms of the active social media users, currently to 4.33. So this the growth will eventually will increase. It can go up to 4.72 because of the internet users, right? So year by year it can reach, but the more the mobile phone users increase, then definitely the internet users increase, and so as the active social media users, right? So one thing that I would like to say that here is that if you see the monthly mobile data used by the average smartphone worldwide, there's about 9.4 GB data on a monthly usage per user, right? So basically that is quite a huge data usage actively by users. And if we see that in Malaysia the average usage is about 6 GB per month, right? And the highest GB usage per month in the world is in South Korea, and South Korea has about 26 GB per month used by an active user. And no any other country can come close as the usage of the smartphones like in South Korea, because the millennials in South Korea are far advanced, right? Because they are the one who actually came out with the first augmented reality Pokemon in many years back, where and they had so many of different variety of games, applications, usages, and interactive gaming, and that actually churns a lot of data. Apple Store has about 2.2 million applications available for download, and there are 2.8 million available for download for Google Play Store, and 21% of millennials open an app 50 plus times per day. Can you believe that? 50 plus times per day, right? So 49% of people open an app about 11 times per day, like myself. I open about 11 plus times per day, and the average smartphone owner users use about 30 apps per month, right? The other area that I would like to stress is that 81% of mobile audiences watching more live streaming video year of year, right? And that also helps to create a better user experiences. And 45% viewers start viewing with the over the top OTT, the streaming model popularized by Netflix, right? And TikTok monthly active users estimated at about 800 million. TikTok is one of the most popular, and they have a download over 1.5 billion in total, right? And with 4G, people can share their videos and voices for sure for 4G. However, With ultra high bandwidth offered by 5G, people will be able to enjoy immersive AR and VR experiences to convey their thoughts and their feelings, right? And definitely 5G enhanced mobile broadband, the high definition video services will drive the massive growth for the 5G, mainly on the 5G business to consumers growth. So this is the daily time spent with the media, where in April 2021 we can able to see the average amount of time each day that the internet users aged between 16 to 64 spend with different kinds of media and devices. And if you see the time span using the internet is about 6 hours and 56 minutes. The time spent watching television is about 3 hours 17 minutes, right? And the time spent using social media is 2 hours 22 minutes. But in down the road in the next 5 years or even 10 years, I can assure you definitely the time spent watching television on a broadcast streaming from will reduce, and the time spent using social media will definitely will increase, right? And time spent for reading press media online also will definitely reading. There will be much more lesser of people who will want to buy newspapers or even books to do the readings, right? So everything are moving towards to the digitalization world. And time spent listening to music streaming also is increasing. So the more there will be there's a potentially more less people will want to listen from the radio broadcasting. They want to listen directly music streaming. That's how the trend is moving towards, right? And surprisingly, time spent playing video games on games console, right? And now, many people don't want to, or the millennials don't want to go to the arcades, and they prefer to use their mobile phones. That's what happening in South Korea, right? Many students, millennials, are spending most of their time playing games. Countries like Philippines as well, and Saudi Arabia, they are competing each other internationally using the mobile phones, right? So they don't need to go to the game arcades. And that's how the trends are changing drastically. If you see the world's most used social platforms, in the figure of in millions, number one, Facebook is the top social media platform. You can see the subscription of users 2.7 billion, right? Followed by YouTube 2.29 billion. WhatsApp is about 2 billion. FB Messenger is 1.3 billion. Instagram is about 1.2 billion, and WeChat is about 1.2. TikTok, it's a surprise, right? TikTok was not in the top 10 list about more than a year ago, and now can you believe they are in the top range, right? So, and why and that's how the amount of the videos that has been used is it's fabulous, right? If you see that in this 21st century, the amount of big data definitely is driven by the IoT devices as well, right? And one thing I can assure you is that in 1 minute, that 400 hours of new videos, right? And there's about 2.5 million Instagram posts has been churned. In one day, there's about 2.5 exabytes, which means 2.5 quintillion bytes of data has been created, right? And that's about 5 billion videos are watched every day, right? 5 billion. Can you believe that? 5 billion videos watched every day worldwide. And there's about 500 hours of videos upload every minute. 500 hours of videos upload every minute just on YouTube, right? So video is one of the trending thing. Thanks for YouTube, and thanks for TikTok as well, because of the amount of YouTube. And you can see in Instagram also there's a pickup The reason is because Instagram has adopted the Reel application, which is the video, right? Because they find it, the TikTok is their greatest competitor, and they started to incorporate uh, the video reels in addition on the photo uploads. And this is how tremendous increase of the usage of data and videos and the disruption, right? If you see the next slide, that in terms of playing video games, in terms of the device perspective, there is a percentage of global internet users aged between 16 to 64 who play video games on each kind of devices, right? So when it comes to the any kind of devices, about 86.1, and there's a huge increase in April 2021 up to 72.5% of smartphone users. And this is a big surprise, right? Even in 2 years back, it was very far below than 40% for smartphone when it comes to playing video games. The games consoles were playing a bigger role, right? But then and there's a slow decline in laptops and games consoles, and smartphone has an increase in terms of the usage of the games. And the total gaming community also has increased to more than 3.5 billion, right? And 90 minutes per day games have been used, particularly in Thailand, Philippines, and Saudi Arabia, right? And if you see the graph here of the internet users who are playing games on any devices, number one is Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, followed by India, Taiwan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Malaysia, right? So not bad. Malaysia is one of the tops in playing video games, right? But none of the Europe countries and Europe surprisingly yet. So in this particular of Asia region, dominated by Asia when it comes to the playing video games. So this is some of the areas that we can able to see for young startup entrepreneurs who who are interested, if they want to venture into playing a video games. Now let's get back into the telecommunication industry. Okay, what is the first generation is all about, that was introduced in 1980s, and that's when the analog voice data was introduced on AMPS and tags, where companies like Motorola's, Lucent, even Nokia was there in the beginning days, right? And Ericsson as well, right? But then slowly moving towards into 1987, 88, I still believe, where I was in a secondary school, my uncle was carrying a suitcase with some wires, and I was surprised, and that was like, wow, this is the innovation of a technology communication, right? As big as a suitcase. And then slowly moves 89, 90, slowly moves towards to a brick size of a phone. Can you believe this? A brick size of phone. I used to carry a brick size of phone. I still remember at that time in 1990s, right? And that's when the GSM was introduced with voice plus the SMS, the short message services. And that time it was a very fun, cool application of SMS. And then slowly moving towards to third generation, the CDMA, the wideband CDMA, the code division multiple access, where the voice plus SMS and the data was introduced, right? And where WhatsApp and WeChat, right? So it was cool, everything was in color screen. We were like amazed, wow, this is innovation, right? But today you guys are thinking that, wow, this is nothing, it's normal kind of things. And that's how the innovations moves, and more bigger surprise things will come on the way. Fourth generation is where mobile payment, e-commerce, voice plus SMS and data and video was introduced during the fourth generation 2010 onwards. And today, the 5G. And fifth generation covers the IoT, the big data, the AI, the ecosystem, the machine learning, everything, and it was not designed just purely for consumers like what you have been seeing in fourth generation or third generation, right? It is totally, it moved to a different landscape. It was covered to the vertical industry markets, covering the manufacturing industry, the entertainment world, the broadcasting, the transportation, the smart city, the smart agriculture, you name it. Everything is into smart, right? The smart drones, smart manufacturing, so on and so forth. And that's how the industry moving towards. The industry are forced to adapt such of 5G technology with powered with the AI, and because for one reason, because industries has to look how to improvise their productivity, and they got to see how to increase the efficiency, and they want to see how they can able to cut costs by using the technology, right? And if you see the next slide, it will appear, and um, and this particular site which covers three main areas. One is the enhanced mobile broadband. Second is the massive Internet of Things. Third is the mission critical control, right? So when it comes to the enhanced mobile broadband category, it covers, one is the extreme capacity, the enrich of the content, right? The user experience content, and that needs a lot of capacity up to 10 tera bytes per second, right? And it also needs extreme data rates, where it churns of 100 plus or megabit per second user experience rates, right, with deep awareness. So that's how enhanced mobile broadband covers. And which are those are videos, user 4K, sort of videos, 8K sort of videos consumption, where you can apply in stadiums or gaming, those kind of areas. If you see, the next area is the massive Internet of Things. And this is the IoT devices, the small connectors, the sensors. So sensors, connectors, it needs huge amount, depends on the usage of certain use cases of certain industry applications. For example, in petroleum industry, or in terms of agriculture industry, or in terms of manufacturing, where it needs to tap the information of the behavior of the machines, or the plantations, or the seabed of the oil industry, where it needs a very low capacity of data, 10 seconds, or up to 30 bits per seconds, right? It's different compared to the enhanced mobile broadband, because here it needs low, but it needs huge number of millions of IoTs, right? And with the low energy of battery life for those IoTs, and gives a deep coverage to reach challenging locations, right? It can be from a kilometers to 1,000 kilometers, or even to hundreds of kilometers of coverage, right? Like seabed, it's huge. Plantation areas, it can be hectares or kilometers, right? Now, the other area is the mission critical control category of area, where it needs a strong security, it needs a ultra high reliability of 99.999%, where with very low millisecond, it shouldn't have any kind of delay, right? So when there's no delay, means there must be a precision positioning, right? A time precision, where you cannot compromise. For example, a robotic that is being used to manufacture a car in a production plant, right? Can you imagine, you need to produce a 1,000 cars in a day, and the robotic has to be so speed in order to make sure, with the bolts and nuts and screws of the parts of the cars, the engines and everything, you can't compromise, right? Everything needs to be as super speed, light speed kind of a connectivity, and this needs to be powered with 5G, right? And those kind of robotics, it has a machine vision cameras with high definition, where the engineers could able to monitor and check balance whether the robotics are doing a perfect job and all that. So that needs be powered with 5G. Right, with that kind of speed. um, and with this mission critical, control, you can able to apply also with in aeroplanes or train. For example, in trains and aeroplanes, they travel in the speed, like like aeroplanes, it goes up to like 800 kilometer per hour, or up to 1,000. Like trains, it can go up to 600 kilometers per hour. So if you want to watch a video or a movie, and you don't want to have an interruption, right? You have to want to have a smooth download of the video with smooth richness. And with this mission critical control application that's applied in the plane or in the train, then the users can able to experience the richness of the content that is been downloaded. So basically, um, these are the three main critical areas for sure, right? And if you see in the next slide, is with the rise of 5G around the corner, this will be another catalyst to the explosion of data being generated and transmitted. Is it right to say that the big data will truly be big with 5G? Yes, definitely it will be big, because of four main reasons. Number one, amazing volume and amazing speed, right? And how 5G plays a role because of the technology of the spectrum extension that is being used. The millimeter wave that I was explaining earlier, the 28 gigahertz millimeter wave, high frequency, but it's very much concentrated into dense. And that's where the cell densification, the small cells involved, right? And increase of spectrum efficiency, right? So when you say cell densification, that's where the whole technology deployment of the 5G radio base stations and the antennas have been deployed. For example, in the past years of experience of how the 5G deployment is, the radio base stations or the antennas have been installed in towers. If you see high range of 60 foot of towers, or it is installed on rooftops, where you can see on the shops or industries on the rooftop, you can see some of the antennas being installed. But when it comes to 5G, it's totally different, because you need so many of number of small cells of antennas, right? Base stations, because of the huge data traffic of 5G consumption, right? So those antennas, that then when you small cells, then you can able to even deploy in lamp poles, right? Lamp poles means house lamp poles, or even the street lamp poles, or even the industry area, or office areas. And these lamp poles can give more closer transfer of data towards to the mobile users, right? So that's where how advanced antenna also, right? For you see, one particular antenna have 159 elements in 5G, right? And 159 elements with the advance of the MIMO, multiple input, multiple output, MIMO, right? Technology, it can give such kind of huge, up to gigabits traffic download to one particular mobile phone user, right? And 5G mobile phone is totally different, yeah, when it comes to the 4G phones and 3G phones, yeah, because it has a superpower of data processing. Thank you for the artificial intelligence that is built in the mobile phones. Thank you, Qualcomm, for the processors. Thank you, Intel, for the processors that is being built into the mobile devices. And phones like, for example, Samsung, Apple, thank you to them, because they have actually concentrated the innovations in terms of the powerful of the processors, the applications that's been built in the phone, that you can able to experience the user reach of the content. And applications has also changed when it comes to the hologram TV, augmented reality, ultra large volume transfers, up to 100 gig media backbone, 4K speed, sports broadcast. Why not today? Because 4G can't able to support the spectrum which have the saturations. The current hardware's not able to function at high frequencies, it's expensive deployment of the maintenance of small cell. Now, when it comes to always best connected 5G, you have this dynamic radio access. Dynamic radio access means in certain areas you might have a 5G because of the mobile operators will not be able to deploy everything at one time. So they will focus into the main cities where the huge churn of data because of the due of the economic of the users, particularly in the cities or the malls. So some areas, the urban areas, they might have a 4G. So the radio has this dynamic access. It can have the seamless handover of the data traffic towards the 4G users. So the 5G users can still able to use the 5G phone, but then while they're moving out to the 4G coverage, they still can able to enjoy the 4G internet connectivity. Right. I already explained on the application, stay connected everywhere, like in high speed trains, planes and clouds. And why not today? Because for example, the 4G does not have the seamless handover that it can able to connect, for example, the Wi-Fi, right? In 5G, in certain locations you can able to hand over from 5G towards to Wi-Fi, which 4G can't able to do that. The other area is no perceived delay, ultra low latency with software defined networks, virtualization, a lot of intelligence. The edge computing is another area that is coming to an evolution. Students have to understand today is that edge computing is an evolution of public cloud that is happening regardless of how, where, and when, or whether the communication service providers like the Maxi, Celcom, DG to find a place in the value chain, right? Like today, if you see the public cloud providers like AWS, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Platform, or even Microsoft Azure, and they are driving the change by extending computing services to the edge of the telecoms network to manage the sustained growth in the traffic or to improve the customer experience. And what is edge? Edge means providing an infrastructure and software that is moving the data processing and analysis as close to the endpoint as necessary, right? And this is a tremendous innovation in technology, right? And we don't need to, or the mobile network operators don't need to actually carry the data traffic from the user all the way to the exchanges or to
Mr. Kanishwara?
or to the data centers. All the processings can be done as close to the user, right? And that's where you can able to see the AWS Snow, as small as a box, a small box that can be placed into the enterprises offices, or it can be a place what they call they call it the snow cones, right? They can be placed in the manufacturing industries, and for example, like a cloud robotics. This is a specific field of robotics that requires vast amount of processing power and storage resources to deliver real-time processing with a zero latency, so that for example, a robotic arm is in the right place at precisely the right time, right? And because of this edge box that's been installed, that actually cuts down of all the latency issues, right? And thanks for the AWS and Microsoft who slowly moving into the telecom domain industry as well. And 5G applications plays a role, vehicle to vehicle, robot control, connected cars, remote surgeries, electric grid, drones, and all that, right? And why not today? Because 4G
Hello,
latency,
Mr.
it only can
Kanishwaran.
cover above 20 seconds. Yes.
Um, I'm sorry. Actually, your screen still remains at at slide 7. Actually, can you reshare again your screen?
Slide 7.
Yeah, it still remains at the slide number 7,
What is on slide number 7?
which is digital around the world. in our screen right now. So how about you reshare as entire screen to your screen right now?
I'm in the full screen.
You're in the full screen. Can you reshare again your screen because yeah,
Yes.
it's still on the PowerPoint view in our screen right now. I'm sorry to disturb your presentation, Mr. Kanishwaran, because I think our technical team might think that Mr. Kanishwaran is not sharing in the entire screen, which is that makes the slide stuck at the PowerPoint, which is the slide number 7. So I think that's why we can't see in the full screen, not that visible. I'm sorry for that inconvenience.
No, I don't think so because I've actually enlarged my screen slide to the full screen, right? So the technical team should look into the platform. Why is not going to the full screen? You know, the technical
Yeah,
team should actually look into this rehearsal one day earlier, right? They should
yeah.
actually done the rehearsals by themselves, you know, to test it out, all the slides, movements, and everything. You know, how come that is not being rectified?
I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, we're going to improve for our rehearsal for in the future. Can we continue with
I've
our
only got
sharing
sharing
session?
and
Um, um, Hello, Mr. Kanishwaran. Can you hear my voice right now?
yes,
Okay. Is the everything okay?
yes.
Okay. How about you? Can you share your screen again?
It's there's a delay here,
Yeah, there's a
and
delay when you try to appear your screen right now.
that delayed because
All right, you can see your
the
screen right now.
StreamYard and internet is not stable, so it will take
It is
some
just
time.
start. All right. Are you sharing at slide number 15? It's okay, you can take your own time. I think it still remains the same, so I think you just
I
can
have
just
just enlarged my slide to a
as we see it, in front of our screen. Actually, it still remains as the PowerPoint. So I think just you can proceed with this slide.
Are you able to see my slide? Are you able to see my slide on a full screen?
Uh, no, I can't see in the full screen, but in the PowerPoint only.
I've already clicked to a yeah. I'm not sure what is the issue. I'm already increased to the full screen. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, still not remains as the full screen right now.
So can we start to rectify now itself,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
how
we
you want
can.
to move forward?
Actually, how about you? Can you share as we thought usual, like this, without sharing the
Sorry,
screen?
if you may
Maybe
ask,
our
how
audience
many
will.
number of students are?
I think you can still share your talk without sharing your screen. Maybe our audience will be understand.
Okay.
Or you can send
So,
us your slide to the
so
WhatsApp.
I'm not sure
So we,
what's the problem, right?
yeah. How about you share your screen to us, and we're going to appear a slide share to the audience. So I think that going to be convenient for us. Is that okay, Mr. Kaneshwaran?
Sorry, without sharing the full screen.
Right. Okay, we're going to try again. Or how about you going? You just share as the PowerPoint. Maybe it's going to make the connection more faster.
The slides, I can share the slides if the students. I can share the slides only if the students subscribe the YouTube channel. So if
Oh,
102 are watching, so I need 102 to click our subscribe our YouTube. Who has clicked, they are given the slides.
yeah, we're going to share your YouTube
So
channel
okay,
at
so
the
so
comment section. Yeah, yeah, just move on. You just proceed with your
are
sharing.
you able to see my slide now?
Yeah, we see your slide right now. Shall
Are you able
we
to see my
proceed?
slides?
Yeah, we can see your slide. Shall we start with our discussion? We our sharing right now. I think we can just proceed. Mr. Ganeshwar, I think we can proceed with the sharing session because we already see your screen right now.
Okay, so let me not to have a full screen, yeah, so that on my side, so maybe. So when it comes to the massive amount of connected things, and there's huge take up in terms of the IoT devices. Back in 2018, there's about 7 billion of devices, IoT devices, and in year 2020, 30 billion of IoT. There's a huge take up of IoT devices in 2020, right? And so that is a huge take up of IoT covering mainly on the smartphone devices, which is about 5.5 billion devices. Smartphones considered as IoT devices as well, and smart utilities is about 1.2 billion devices, and set-top box TV 1.1 billion devices, and smart and this is quite huge. This is really quite a huge take up, right? And if I move on to the next slide here, basically, this is a graph that has been obtained consumption per month. The subscription is based on a 26 GB data, right? When it comes to the range, it's about for 10 GB data. But then if you see the users has started to decline, right, for 4G. In Malaysia, the 4G now in Malaysia. So, but South Korea, many people have belittled South Korea 2 years back because they said that Saudi technology and it's very difficult to get a return of investment. But today, after 2 years, they have already reached about 14 million at the end of March, 2 years after the network first went live in the countries, right? So that's how the tremendous possibilities on how the 5G is being deployed. So when it comes to the key usage scenarios drive for 5G, what I can able to say that there is three main category areas, right? One is the enhanced mobile broadband. Number two is the ultra reliable low latency communications. Number three is the massive machine type communications, right? So even enhanced mobile broadband, those applications involved is the 4K, 8K, AR, cloud gaming, enhanced mobile media, home broadband and TV, in-menu, wireless broadband, and in-car operations. So there is ultra reliable, low latency communications that involve into the industrial automations, remote manufacturing, surgery, self-driving vehicles, and then when it comes to massive machine types communications, and that's where a lot of huge IoT devices for smart homes, smart buildings, energy and utilities, smart agriculture, logistics, and smart cities that are involved, right? So if I move to the next slide, where this is on the delivering on the 5G vision, right? And this is quite an interesting area where we can see how 5G is being deployed into different segment of areas, where one example where we can see is for the 5G private networks, right? Because 5G private network is being deployed to any particular of industries where like manufacturing industries particularly could able to apply the spectrum license from the regulatory body to deploy their own private network without relying or depending with the mobile network operators, right? So has already happened in US, in Europe, mainly in Japan, in Germany. about 140 licenses has been awarded to manufacturing companies, for example, Audi, BMW, um, Mercedes-Benz, where they can able to install their own private network. So applications for private network based on the 5G system are in the area of high performance requirements, the so-called the industrial IoT. Example like production plants, logistics, mines or seaports. Another place for this type of solution is mission critical system. Public safety also can be used on 5G private network. Railway systems where transmission reliability and safety are high importance, right? Yet another area um, is the implementation of the 5G network in public local hotspots, airports, university campus, hospitals, stadiums, as what you can see here, or military bases, where the local mobile networks sponsored by the facility owners, right? So these are the key of the areas where the private network are taken in advantage. The other area is the fixed wireless access. Fixed wireless access is a new innovation to replace the broadband fixed line connectivity like the Unify in Malaysia that what we have been using at homes. So fixed wireless access is something that will be fixed on the lamp posts to give a coverage, say 100 household of residents, which it gives a coverage of a 5G, right? So that your homes, the like Telecom Malaysia team doesn't need to come and to your house to hammer the fiber on the walls, right? And it will damage your house. So fixed wireless access, it's easy for the telecom employees to come and or Celcom or Maxis or Digi to come and fix on the lamp poles, and that's it. Your households will get a purely a 5G coverage. And this gives ultra high speed broadband, to the suburban, rural areas, supporting home business applications where fiber, maybe can be expensive and lay to maintain, right, for those rural areas. And this particular 5G fixed wireless can provide a competitive alternative to fixed line, DSL, cable, fiber across all markets. And this provides a means by which suburban and rural consumers can receive the bandwidth required to support high definition streaming services and high speed internet access, right? So that's how the industry works, or not leaving the smart factories as well, because you can apply the 5G fixed wireless access to factories, or you can use the private networks for factories, right? And it can increase the production of the facility, right? In those factories. One thing, particular factory that was very successful with the 5G was Mercedes-Benz, together with the collaboration of Ericsson and Telefonica Deutschland in Germany, where they had this factory 56 in a city known as Sindelfingen, world's first 5G automobile production, right? And it's on a running production, right? So there was the innovation in the car assembly line, where they had a car with the combustion engine, and also they had a full electric vehicles with a different architecture vehicle, right? They can be produced at the same assembly line, and this is only possible with the 5G, right? And the production facility communicates with the surroundings, the vehicles, the humans, machines, all are interconnected, and it optimizes the existing production and reduces the training time of employees with virtual trainings and etc. And it gives a ultra, low reliability, fast data transmission in gigabit range with a high reliability. The other area to see is the reconfigurable factory of the future, where are you able to see my new slide now when it comes to the manufacturing industry, where you can see two gentlemen guys on standing on my slide? Can you able to see that?
Yes, we can see your slide right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are you able to see that?
Yeah, we're able
Okay,
to
so now
see
it's
your screen
working,
right
right?
now.
Since okay, perfect. So the configurable factory of the future, will thrive in the 5G plus the artificial intelligence. So what is the beauty of this, right? Okay, one thing I can able to let me stick in this area on the surveillance, right, in the manufacturing plant, for example. So this particular camera surveillance is not an ordinary camera. Yeah, it has this artificial intelligence. It has the edge computing capabilities and high resolution that are already in a smart camera, right? And this particular thing has been even deployed, offered in the home or enterprise in some of the countries in US, in Europe, right? So there are advanced AI available in segments where it was previously only available. In premium, but today it has been sold as a service in a much more cheaper, right? So visual intelligence platform covers surveillance cameras, dashboard cameras, and video conferencing device with application like object classification, segmentation. Even for a smart city, you can zoom into a license plate recognition. You can go even to face recognition. If for example, in a manufacturing, if this is a restricted area where only certain employees can go in, so the camera can able to give a face recognition, body detection. It gives a people counting as well, right? So the result is a greater efficiency and more computing power that is designed to enable the AI inferencing at the network edge. So the edge box will be installed somewhere here behind here, and it gives such of fast processing power, right? And that's how dynamic it is. So if we go to the the extended reality, I will explain more on what is XR is all about. It has a combination of augmented reality, virtual reality, where this gentleman who's using this glass could able to transfer those information to various locations, and it also gives some sort of perspective for the benefit of training, for example. Now moving to the next slide. This is a slide that's covering on the 5G port. Are you able to see this slide on the 5G port?
Yeah, I can see. We see your slide right now. Yeah, we're going to proceed with your sharing because we still see your screen right now, Mr. Kanishwaran.
So I hope that you may able to see on the 5G port. So 5G port is a very emerging dedicated private network for targeted native application. It gives some sort of a real asset tracking, device intelligence, seamless interworking with public network. It gives a 5G new private, right? right? So what I'm trying to say that it gives mentioning earlier on surveillance. It gives a real-time inventory with the IoT devices that is been fixed on the cranes, and also on the containers, right? So you have so many of IoT to measure the turnovers of the containers in the port, right? The other area is about the enhanced mobile network communication, the new direct communication, massive Internet of Things, the evolution of 5G radio supports smart transportation use cases, right? Network, vehicle to infrastructure, vehicle to pedestrian, and also where it gives a 5G radio support for smart transportation use cases, right? And I would say that for vehicle to vehicle, it gives some sort of tracing of collision avoidance, safety systems. When it comes to vehicle to infrastructure, where the infrastructure, it can be a lamp pole, or it can be a building, or it can be the divider, where it gives some sort of a traffic signal timing, Vehicle to pedestrian. Pedestrian means humans who even cross walking. It gives a safety alert to the pedestrian, particularly in the traffic lights. And vehicle to network. Network means a network which is can be connected to a smart city IoT network or small cell that is in the lampposts, right? Where it gives the real-time traffic and gives routing information of the traffic to the various application users, right? Now, if you see this is quite interesting when it comes to the virtual telepresence collaboration, where it gives some sort of the extended reality experience, the boundless XR, where if you see this one particular uh, person who is based in Sao Paulo, and she is trying to cut the design, right? And she's using this extended reality, photorealistic graphic, slim form factor in glass, where she can able to communicate to her client who is based in Istanbul, and she is giving her information in terms of the right cutting, the right by showing her designs, and she can able to see her design through the glass, through the her AR glass, and from the AR glass she can able to 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 cut as the per requirement of the design. So fashion designs cutting, it will be much more faster, easier. And with the help of the edge cloud box that is in the premise, it gives that speed of the richness of the communications between two different countries further apart. It can be hundreds or even thousands kilometers, right? So augmented reality retail introducing AR in digital clothing stores could enable users to see the item clothing in a 3D format as well. It introduce AR to industrial markets. It can be applied to technical in the field, able to receive the live support as well, right? Now this is quite an interesting slide where fueling, precision, agriculture, even the cotton found in a simple dress uses a 5G, right? So if you see in the plantation, we can have so many of IoT devices that is on a massive sensor network. It gives the behavioral information. Drones are also being connected to the IoT devices. Drones can also give the untethered surveillance thanks for the 5G because of the high definition video that it carries while it's moving. 4G is not possible for sure, and it gives a ubiquitous, always available connectivity, right? With the edge intelligence, it can be installed in the particular uh, uh, um, grass cutting hoppers, machines that is doing the plantation agriculture works as well. Now, if we move to the next slide, this is the wind farms, right? So when it comes to the wind farms, where we have seen turbine sensors, blade sensors, environmental sensors, drone inspections, vehicle tracking, where it can give so much of information, the impact of the environment, with the cameras, and in order to improvise the productivity and the efficiency in the plant. But the other area is how mobile network operators can reduce the impact on the environment by increasing the efficiency of 5G by powering the networks with the renewable energy, right? So renewable energy from the wind farms, and 5G has a potential to play important role in the energy transition by helping to improve the energy efficiency of the industrial sectors. Now, moving on to the next slide is the slide where we can see the container ports, oil refineries, manufacturing, constructions, oil rigs, wind farms, warehouses, even mines. And that gives production, efficiency, manufacturing, where, the biggest contributor when it comes to the 5G economy global is mainly is manufacturing, right, with the 3.364 billion, followed by transport, construction, utilities, and even mining as well. Now, this is quite an interesting area where the augmented reality and virtual reality offer distinct experiences but share similar underlying technologies, right? So this is quite a very interesting slide, right? Where one is the virtual reality, where it simulates physical presence in real or imagined worlds and it enables the user to interact that world. And the other area is augmented reality, where it superimposes the content over the real world such that the content appears to be part of the real world. So this guy who sees in the glass, he can able to read the menu on the screen while he's doing his cooking, right? So that's how the advance. And in the era of convergence, one device to rule them all. At some point of time in the future, we envision the convergence of the smartphone, the mobile VR headset, the AR glasses into a single XR, the extended reality wearable, right? So XR could replace all the other screens in your life, like that big TV in your living room. Mobile XR has the potential to become one of the world most ubiquitous and disruptive computing platforms similar to the smartphone today. And you'll be surprised, in down the road in 10 years, there's a possibility of smartphone to disappear slowly, and that will be replaced by the extended reality smart glasses. You can use the glass to call. You just say call. You just need to whisper 019 blah 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 number, and the call just connected with your voice response. And that's how technology has advanced. And you just need to use your glass, and you can make calls and talk while in your car. So you don't need to carry your phone anywhere. It's heavy. You don't need to carry and charge it and everything. So the glass is there, is part of your body, and you can able to communicate with everyone. So evolution of user experience for VR to AR. So VR is a new paradigm for how we interact with the world. It offers an unprecedented experience and unlimited possibilities that enhance our life in many ways. We are able to virtually anywhere to do anything and be with anyone at any time. Imagine being virtually, transported to the best seat in the arena of the World Cup finals, and also to a classroom. And that's where the topic title here is, right, 5G for the education. And that's how the education is moving so advanced in classrooms, in the universities, where, the university lecturers or the teachers, they can work remotely anywhere. They might not able to come to the class for some reasons. Maybe they have meetings in certain ministries, or it can be a conference, but they can actually do remotely. And with the haptic technology that's been used, with the AR glass and everything, they can actually run through their classes virtually, right? The students also not necessarily has to be in a classroom. They can some, may have certain assignments in the lab, or they have some emergency they have to conduct personally, so they can access wherever they are, right? So remotely. And that's how technology advances to connect everyone together, to make sure that the knowledge has been transferred. And in this particular virtual reality, able to move around live events, where you can able to experience the live concerts while you are at home, as though that you are in the concert. Can you imagine that? As though that you can feel that feeling, right? So like now these concerts have been forced to do virtually because of the COVID-19 pandemic, right? So that's how technology has advanced so much, and AR will transform the way we live and interact in the world. So I think due to the time constraint, I'll do a very quick run through. So a plurality of experience in AR. You can play, we can explore, we can communicate, we can work, we can thrive. And if we play means it's a gaming environment. Gaming not necessarily has to be just normal gaming. It can be education gaming to improvise the students ability of receptivity. It can be a lab innovations gaming, right? It can be fun competition kind of a play environment. You can be a 3D education where you have this virtual design of a hologram where the students in the classroom or in the universities can able to see a 3D dimension, for example, a biology, a human body or bones, and you can able to go through. So that gives the excitement for students rather than on the day to day watching the internet or even reading the book. Students can't able to have the high receptivity, and this particular immersive will break out. It will give such kind of experience. The student will get excited, right? And that's how Malaysia should look at the schools in Malaysia should start adapting all this kind of technologies, right? And in order for them to experience that, the 5G needs to be deployed as soon as possible, and where the students can able to experience this, and that's how they can able to catch up things, because kind of world developed countries are moving so fast, and students are moving so fast in terms of acquiring such a knowledge. So this is quite important in terms of the communications, personalized advertising, trainings, for the lecturers or even the universities, lab researchers. They can conduct trainings in a virtually mode as well. So the other slide, this is AR will serve a broad spectrum of roles in daily lives, for kids who are chasing a virtual character, like what the Pokemon has been introduced, interactive, immersive. Young adults exploring in the museums, university students or college or even school who wants to go to a particular museum, they can use the phone and they can able to adapt. Um, the experience by using the phone and tag with the QR scan code, and they can able to see all the information available about that particular object in the museum, right? Same goes the families in communicating virtually brought together, professional working, architects collaborate on a shared design to improve efficiency. So same thing, whether school, education sector, universities, colleges, they can able to have such kind of collaborating together with different schools, different universities. They can collaborate on a research by watching a one particular object, right? So, and that's only possible with this kind of augmented reality, right? And moving on the next slide, this is the augmented reality that is will revolutionize the industries and the enterprises, increase productivity, efficiency, and safety, right? For example, it gives the industrial manufacturing, the healthcare, the educating, the military, the engineering, retail marketing, emergency response. So it doesn't matter what kind of vertical markets, it gives such kind of benefits. AR technologies and use cases evolve, right? So those traditional was very much to landline, camera, PDA, laptop, smartphones, and how you can eventually move towards to the VR and AR. We also have this what we call is that a glimpse of the AR glasses, the specification of the AR glasses, where we can see the bone conduction transducers, the rear cameras, the directional speakers, the tracking and recording cameras, the initial haptic environment, the LED lights, multiple high sensitive audio microphones, multi-mode connectivity, ambient flight sensors, eye tracking cameras, right? So as the AR also gives a real world, and you have different designs. So these are the cameras that's built in front of the AR glass. It has this combination of AI built in the AR glass. It has this visual, sound, and interconnection. They're so realistic that they are true to life, right? And it has an intelligent that learns the personal preference and provides this, the security, privacy. It's also connected with the low power wearable with fast wireless cloud connectivity, right? So the wireless chip also is inbuilt in the AR glass, right? And VR AR require efficient increase in wireless capacity. Why I'm saying this is that in the glass itself, it has this uplink and downlink capability in the chip, right? Like a SIM card in the phone. So that kind of micro SIM card is embedded in the particular AR glass, right? And it gives some sort of uplink and downlink, and depending on the richer visual content that it transmits. And that's how the download link from the mobile operator will reach towards to the AR glass. For example, if it's a video conferencing, it can be a 2 megabits per second. Two-way telepresence, it can be up to 25 megabits per second. And 50 to 200 megabit per second is the next generation 360 degrees video. When it comes to image and workflow downloading, 1 megabit, and the more higher, like a 4K video, then it goes to higher 50 megabits. If it's a 6 degrees of freedom of a viewpoint of a camera built in AR glasses, then it can go up to 5,000 megabits per seconds. And this low wireless latency is critical for immersion, and that's where I was mentioning about the edge latency box that is being offered by the telcos or even the hyperscalers like AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft, that is being installed in the particular stadiums or even the education colleges, schools, universities. And that's where they have this telco edge latency telco, where you can able to experience, with the lower latency, to give a smooth experience of the motion control, right? One thing I would like to recommend to the schools, the education, or even the industry, how the 5G private network should be deployed, where you can have a group of schools connected to one 5G private network, where you can have such kind of user reach of experience, rather than depending on the mobile network. A pool of universities, of colleges who can have install a 5G private network that can able to experience the high user reach of contents. That's can be done. Even then, it has been implemented in some of the countries. Now, this is the cloud computing complements on the device processing on the device processing, where it gives all kind of on-device processing. Then, as I said earlier, the as like a smartphone, the AR glass also can have that the processors inbuilt, and efficient use of bandwidth and processing. And also it can communicate cloud computing to the data centers, where you can have the data aggregation, big data processing, or even the small boxes of edge closer to the user who's using the AR glasses. And lastly, this is the automotive, for example, video streaming, right? So 5G will enable completely a new function in the vehicle and beyond. It will pave way future mobility and automated driving, also for enhanced multimedia and infotainment features in the car inbuilt, right, in the car. And that's how the autonomous transport cars, driverless cars, being built, right? Countries like in China, there are already cities in China with robo taxis, driverless cars. You don't see any drivers in the cars. It's been implemented, right? And that's how the hype is already been realized, right? So we have this over-the-air updates of application and software in the vehicles possible almost on real time. So all are streamed update to the car with infotainment, and a seamless video music streaming can be done in a moving car, right? The other area is the sports fans in the crowd event, in a stadium. Connecting sport fans using 5G in real-time information will transform in the stadium experience beyond 5G recognition. The combination of 5G with edge computing and AI, AR, VR will transform the sports fan experience, right? Like Tokyo 2021, already implement the footage that will come from the drones, and comes the 360 degrees of video recordings. Paris 2024 Olympics also, I've already started to look into 360 degrees videos, additional camera angles. Can you believe the football players have the camera inbuilt on the uniforms, and the viewers, not necessarily in the stadium, but even at home, they can extremely experience that as though they are playing on the field. That kind of high transmit of user richness, where you can see like a 360 view. It's really amazing, yeah. And you have a 6 degree of freedom, immersive content of a high throughput, low latency, which thanks for the extended reality, which increases the resolution, high bandwidth, and streamlined form factor to deliver immersive experience. Right. So with the 5G ultra reliable low latency communication, it will soon be possible to have round trip latency in the MS range. 5G tactile internet applications will, increasingly enable the human machine interactions, right? In other words, a sense of touch can be transported to other side of the world, right? So the user, this is real true that has been tested. The user just need touch on the cloud, right? And when the person touch, we call it the tactile touching, right? You can touch and start to communicate, or even you do a type of words on a cloud. That is possible. That is already been implemented, right? There's more to discuss. There's more to talk. Maybe not in this session. Maybe in a future session when I have an opportunity, I will definitely will talk. What I've given you is just 1% of it. What I'm doing is that I'm doing a world international conferences. I'm the owner, the moderator of Global 5G Evolution International Conference. I have already built more than 150 5G experts from worldwide and all other part of countries. I've already reached like more than 150 countries, where and these are the people, the experts from various areas. They can be startup accelerators, Ericsson, Nokia, Huawei, other AI, edge computing, university professors from worldwide, so on and so forth. Professors, this guy, professor from Australia, David Soldani, is the CTO of Huawei, and he also is a university lecturer from University of Sydney. He has been very supportive on this event, and also we have other speakers like from South Korea, from Korea Telecom. We have Hitachi from the mining, how 5G has been deployed. They have shared those ideas of the mining industry, right? We have this application gaming, remote reality gaming. These guys from France have given. So students, please do subscribe my YouTube channel, where you can able, I'm giving this for free. Yeah, it's, and please don't avoid this. Please try to learn as much as possible, and this I'm giving this for free, and you can able to see how the world has been advanced so fast, how these things have been done. Some students have this idea who want to come up with a startup company in future, and if you have this idea, you can even accelerate your startup company as soon as possible. That's even possible. So some other speakers that I've incorporated is the chairman from the Scotland 5G Center. Her name is Julie Snell. She's very helpful in participating in our program. We have this guy Yogarandam Raulan, the one of the key guys, the 5G architect from the University of Surrey, because they are fast advanced in the innovation lab in University of Surrey Surrey, London, UK. And we have this some speakers from America, US, from Verizon as well, right? And also some speakers from worldwide universities, from the Chicago University, researchers who come out with intelligent research, innovative ideas beyond 5G that has been shared over here as well. And then lastly is this, I have also incorporated a group of students from University of Berkeley, from University of California, right, where a group of students came of innovative drone 200, innovative, they presented on our program last year, right? And I brought in this guy Shade bin Aziz from Verizon, and surprising, it's a blessing for the students because they have been given an opportunity to test it out in Verizon in US, right? With the help of Shade bin Aziz. So I've been a medium, right? This platform has been a medium to connect people, to connect industries, to connect students, to connect everyone to get this access, right? And I'm not earning a single point of money until now, I'm not even single point, because I want to share this knowledge. I want everyone to, part of the inclusiveness, to make sure that everyone gain from this particular knowledge sharing. And this is the TCO analysis, Wi-Fi 6 versus private 5G, that I done a debate together with Alex Besson from Washington, D.C., USA as well. And you can able to see what's the benefit of 5G, what's the strength of 5G compared to Wi-Fi. That has been presented. You can able to access on this YouTube channel. I also have this presentation by the top professor of NTU Singapore, Professor Ranjan Singh, also the young leaders, right? As well from the University of Oulu, Finland, and also the what they call the British Telecom research company from London, UK, right? Leo White, and this guy Christian Marson from Aachen University won the innovation in 5G. Christian Aachen also was involved in our program to share whatever the innovations that they have done on the use cases. So please take your time to subscribe. Are you able to see my QR code here?
QR code right now.
Are you able to see my QR code?
Yeah, you see your QR code right now.
All right, perfect. So students, please take this opportunity to scan and subscribe this channel, right? So it will be beneficial to you. I only have seen only one have subscribed. This is so sad. Out of 108 students that has participated, only one subscribe this channel. Come on, you can do better than this. Please do scan or even search Global 5G Evolution on the YouTube and click the subscribe button, please. Only one? Oh my God, that's very sad to see. Come on, you can do better than this. Please do subscribe. I'll just give another 30 seconds. Take your time. I have seen 30, only 30 out of 100. Come on, you can do better than this. Please subscribe. Okay, so lastly, basically, I do consultancy service for any mobile network operators, vertical, university campus, manufacturing industries who wants to build on network, how this whole strategy can done, the value added propositions, the use cases, the business model canvas, the use case canvas, what are the benefits, how the planning can be done, how the monetization can be done, how the hardware, the softwares, concepts, the monetization, B2C and B2B, or B2B to B, or B2B to C, those kind of concepts, build and deploy capabilities, and operate and maintain your 5G network. So this all can be, I am providing as a service, consultant services of any universities or manufacturing companies. So interested, they can able to uh, approach me via my LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn. You can able to connect me via my LinkedIn, and this is the QR code of my LinkedIn. I post daily on my LinkedIn profile. I give my views to the international arena, and most of the industry, they look upon my downloads of documents, informations. Um, and they will catch up or whatever the developments that I'm actually sharing to the world, right? So please take the advantage by reading all these articles that is posted on my LinkedIn as well. So thank you so much to University Putra Malaysia.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kaneshwara Govindasamy, for your proficient view on 5G technology potential in education field. But before we proceed to our Q&A session, I would like to share my interest about our today's sharings. So according to our situations that we faces right now, it suits really well. It suits really well with this sharing topic. So I think as a students, we're going to gain much opportunity within this 5G evolution as we face the online classes during this pandemic MCO or the L. So now I would like to open the floor for the Q&A session. So we welcome any queries you may have and leave your question in the comment box below. So that's a good sharing with our topic. Thank you very much, Mr. Kaneshwaran. Okay, we're going to proceed with our first question, which is, can you see our screen right now? All right, I'm going to read this randomly. So it's from Nofarisha, which is how will 5G
Thank
change
you,
the wireline
Rina. Thank
architecture?
you, Zara. I hope in future the 5G.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, we're going to proceed with our first question, which is how will the 5G change the wireline
Yes.
architecture that currently supports 5G mobile backhaul? Okay, can you give the brief explanation about according to this question, Mr. Kanishwaran?
So how 5G can change the wireline architecture?
Excuse me, Mr. Kaneshwaran.
So basically,
Okay.
wireline is totally different architecture compared to wireless. If the student knows what is wireline, maybe the student is not aware what is the wireline. Wireline means it is DSL or copper line, or now it's moving towards the fiber, right? If you can see today's world, where most of the houses and offices or the vertical industries have been and that's been supported by the wireline architecture, fixed line operators or the internet service providers. For example, in Malaysia, it's like Telecom Malaysia. The wireless is a completely different because
Are you done with your answer, Mr. Kaneshwaran? Hello, Mr. Kaneshwaran. Are you done with your answer? So we're going to proceed to our next question. So, okay, from Sharifa Sakina, which is I have a question. What will be happen to Malaysia's economy if the 5G was implemented? Are there many changes going to happen in our country? Okay, that's I'm going to let the Mr. Kaneshwaran to share his opinion about regarding to this question.
yes, I have already answered.
You already answered. Yeah, our second question already displayed at our screen right now. Can you see the question?
Yes.
Mm, 5G was implemented.
Sorry, what is the question?
Can you see in your screen right now? The question already appeared to our screen.
I can't see the question.
Oh, you can't see the screen. Okay, I'm going to repeat again the question. So from Sharifa Sakina, which is what
I
will
can't able
happen
to see
to
the question.
Okay, I'm going to tell the question. So, what will be happen to Malaysia's economy if the 5G was implemented? Are there many changes going to happen in our country? So, what is your opinion regarding to this question, Mr. Kaneshwaran?
I can't. I unable to see any questions here.
Yeah, I already. Okay, I'm going to read again the question. Can you hear my voice right now, Mr. Kaneshwaran? Hello, Mr. Kaneshwaran. Okay, we're going to stop our Q&A session from this because I'm sorry everyone, it seems like Mr. Kaneshwaran connection is unstable. So I hope that everyone can stay tuned with us until the end of the program. So ladies and gentlemen, finally we have come to the end of for today's webinar. So behalf of the organization, once again I would like to thank our speaker today, Mr. Kaneshwaran Govindasamy, and to all viewers for the support and contribution in making this event a success. So I hope that everyone gains beneficial input from the webinar and may it be helpful for your future. So before we end this live, to all students, please remain in front of your screen because the QR code will be displayed in the moment. So to scan this QR code so for the proof that you have attended this event. With that, the webinar ends here. Till we meet again in the upcoming event. I am Yorina Islam, the moderator for today's event. So stay safe, everyone. Wash your hands and always maintain the social distancing. Thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.